Hello and welcome. You're watching News Center. I am Ashmit Kumar. Now, India's electronics manufacturing story gets another boost. The government has cleared 17 proposals worth over 7,100 crore rupees in the second tranche of the Electronic Component Production Linked Incentive Scheme. This follows the first tranche last month, when as many as 7 projects worth over 5,500 crore rupees received approval. The latest round includes the first investment from Jammu and Kashmir under the scheme. Other approved applications are from companies based in Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu. They're spread out across. In fact, there's one in Jammu as well. Now, remember, the scheme was notified on April 8th with a total outlay of 22,919 crore rupees. 24 projects so far worth 12,700 crore rupees have been cleared so far. The government expects these projects to generate production worth 1.1 lakh crore rupees and create over 17,000 jobs. Among the newly approved projects, Aquis Consumer Products secured clearances worth 1,500 crore rupees. 2 listed companies, including Uno Minda and Sirma SG's subsidiary, have also received approval. Now, to take this discussion ahead, we have with us Mr. Pankaj Mohindroo, Chairman of the Indian Cellular and Electronics Association. Also joining us is Mr. Ashok Chandak, President of India of IESA. Mr. Mohindroo, Mr. Chandak, thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Mohindroo, let me come to you first. Today, of course, I believe we're still trying to connect with Mr. Mohindroo. We'll get back to him in just a bit. We do have with us Mr. Ashok Chandak. Mr. Chandak, thank you so much for being a part of this discussion. First up, the big announcement today, of course, was with respect to 17 new projects that have been approved. What do you make of the response that has been received by the electronic component ecosystem? We've seen the product ecosystem of whether that's white goods like laptops or mobile phones or smartphones doing very well. Now the component system appears to be drawing attention.
It's a really important milestone, I would call, because we announced this scheme as a mighty government of India 6 months ago. There were a large number of proposals received, more than the outlay. And also the speed at which these proposals have been evaluated and approved for further production. So what we see here is the India's electronics value add, which we were always talking about, is shifting from policy to production. With early approvals and more projects in the pipeline, this ECMS scheme is strengthening India's component ecosystem. It is going to reduce imports and also going to create the jobs. I would call India is now moving with the speed, the scale, and strategic clarity. The direction is very clear, the self-reliant, as well as the globally competitive and innovation-led electronics and semiconductor system. But at the same time, I would like to bring your attention, Ashwin, and also the viewers, we should not see ECMS scheme as a standalone. This is one element. There are, I would list 5 schemes. Those are strategically important and are connected to each other. Very high synergy. Those are transforming the electronic sector. The ECMS, we know, the Electronics Manufacturing PLI has been successful. India's semiconductor mission, which was covering semiconductor fabs and OSATs. Then the Design Link Incentive, which was for fabless designs. And the last week announcement of the RDI, Research and Development. These are the 5 programs. And I would call this is a Pancha-Tatra, because this is going to transform the entire electronics and semiconductor sector in the country.
Let me come in on that. Mr. Chandak. Let me come in on that. As far as you spoke about the broader ecosystem that's also developing. The question that I want to ask you, and this is the same question that I also posed to the minister earlier today, is that so far, as far as the electronics manufacturing ecosystem is concerned, it is dominated by smartphones, and amongst the smartphones, dominated by Apple. So it's an Apple-heavy cart that we have. What does the future of realizing scale for electronic components look like? Where will the demand come from? Where, as of right now, it appears to be coming predominantly from Apple. What does a post-Apple Indian manufacturing system look like?
It's a good point, Ashwin. Actually, if we look at the electronics production in the country today, and the way it is being ambitioned to be increasing to almost $500 billion industry by 2030, the smartphones or handsets are going to capture only 50% of that. So remaining 50% is not smartphones. And that amount is going to be almost like $250 billion as the electronic industry. So there is a beyond Apple or beyond smartphone, let's say, there is a large amount of electronics manufacturing which is going to happen in the country. Not only the manufacturing, but also the design of the products. And that is where these all electronic components scheme fits in very well, actually. So it will feed into the smartphone related requirement surely,
Right,
because
Mr.
this
Chandak.
does not restrict that, but also it will feed into the rest of the stuff, the consumer electronics, the automotive, the industrial, telecom, and so forth.
Right, Mr. Chandak. Right, Mr. Chandak. Mr. Pankaj Mohindroo has also joined us, Chairman of the ICEA. Mr. Mohindroo, thank you so much for being a part of this discussion. The same question that I was asking Mr. Chandak as well. Today, we have a scenario where the electronics manufacturing dominated by Apple. If we want the electronic component ecosystem to grow, how do we grow it beyond Apple, beyond just the big tech players? Where is the demand going to come from?
I'll slightly like to correct Ashok. We don't aspire to have $250 billion of smartphone production. That's not possible. Currently, we are at about 73 to 75 billion dollars, and I think we will peak at about 150 billion dollars. The plan, that the big beautiful plan, as I call it, is $350 billion of output of final product and $150 billion of components and subassemblies. And in components, there'll be a component of semiconductors, which is around 10 to $15 billion. This is the composition of this. The big challenge is how to take the components, which are just $12 billion today, to $70 billion. Semiconductors is going to support that. And the subassemblies from currently about, and subassemblies don't include PCBA, subassemblies to 70, $75 billion. That's also a huge jump. But camera module, display assembly, all of this will support it. Now the $350 billion, which is the output, about $150 billion will be the smartphones. And the other segments are IT hardware, which is laptops, desktops, servers, consumer electronics, appliances,
Mr. Mohindroo.
hearable wearables, auto electronics, lighting. All those segments we are working on very, very, very seriously. And you will
Mr. Mohindroo,
find...
you've given us the long-term picture. You've given us the long-term picture. I want to get a near-term assessment from you as well. The minister today, Ashwini Vaishnav, has given a strict mandate. We want you to design in India. There needs to be quality standards, Six Sigma quality standards that need to be adhered to, and your supply chain needs to be Swadeshi. How is the industry responding to this new mandate coming in from the government?
The minister stressed this, and it has always been on his agenda when he's talking privately to us and privately to the companies. And this is his constant agenda, and we really appreciate it. Design, Ashok just mentioned, is the next stage. And it is very critical for us that we design products in India. We also have global companies designing here. There is some work in progress there, but we have to make Indian designed products in all the categories of electronics. That's a very important task. And there we don't have to be at the discovery stage, but we have to be, if the R&D or development is 1 to 10 equation, then even 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 is okay. We don't have to start from 1 and 2. We don't have to do blue sky stuff only. So the biggest important thing is that we need to employ the masses. We need to add the value. We need to have brands coming out of India. About smartphones, everybody in the world is manufacturing in India. And, necessarily, there is one particular brand who is very large in the world. They occupy a lion position in the this thing. So, and it's a great privilege that they have a certain percentage of their manufacturing in India. And I think if India remains competitive and the geopolitics is in our favor, or at least neutral, we will continue to have large production from all the brands.
we will continue to have large production. Mr. Mohindroo, we are running out of time, so I'll just come to both of our panelists for a quick closing comment. First to you, Mr. Mohindroo, that as far as the broader industry that we've seen, the role that has been played by the PLI has been that of a catalytic investor, or of a catalytic impetus that the government has given. The mobile PLI, nearing the extension, what is the industry's demand? Is there a need for an extension?
This is, everything is very scientific and very structured. We have improved a lot on disabilities. We have chipped off almost 5 to 6%. And I mentioned in my address also, we have now residual disabilities of bill of material, which is very difficult to beat because that's about 4%, which is because of the ecosystem existing in Vietnam and China, right? The ECMS scheme will help mitigate that because the ecosystem will get created there. The second big one is the capital goods, because China already has a base, a very big base. We have to make fresh investments here. So there is a capital cost here, which is necessary. The third is the interest cost. Interest cost, you see, our interests have been coming down, but still there is a gap of 4 to 5%. And that is a big gap in the working capital also and the capital investment also. So there is a disability, which is this is work in progress. For example, I said, we are on par in power cost, which is such a miracle. You will remember that
there are nonetheless
10 years,
disabilities. If I get the gist of your message, Mr. Mohindroo, is that there are disabilities that do need some support. I'd like to apologize. I'm running out of time. Mr. Chandak, a quick 30-second comment. Do you feel the need for continued support, or has the industry matured? Mr. Chandak.
I would say that industry has to look forward to, I initially indicated, to Panchatantra. That's the India's integrated strategy. It's a seamless value chain. The expectation will continue. Industries would continue to expect that more incentives should come in. But this ECMS would build components, material backbone, the PLI that builds large-scale manufacturing, the ISM that builds the wafers and the packaging capacity, the DLI that empowers the design and IP, and the RDI fuels the innovation of the next decade. So completely, this is the entire electronics value chain we have to look at. Material to components, chips to devices, design to manufacturing, and research to global market. This is how a nation can become an electronic powerhouse. Incentives will come, it will stay, may not stay. But time has come for industry to look at the entire 5 elements, build the synergy, build the right fabric, and move forward.
Right, Mr. Chandak, we've completely run out of time. Mr. Mohindroo, Mr. Chandak, thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. Time now for a short break. But coming up, IT Minister Ashwini says that the government is likely to amend the newly introduced data protection rules to shorten the timeline for compliance. We'll come back with lots more on the other side.